welcome back to another video. It is Tuesday afternoon and 89 degrees where I am. Sunny blue skies. I'm walking around with no shirt because it's gorgeous. And I got to try to find a shady spot because it's really hot. And, I wanted to do a quick video. I've got a few of you guys emailing me, replying to my comments with some good requests. And one of you in general has been very good at asking me questions. And, I'm all too happy to provide a response, in my opinion. First of all, I am not, just so you guys know, a certified financial planner. So you can definitely listen to what I say, but under no circumstance, if you get yourself into any kind of financial trouble, that was on you, not on me. But I don't think we're really getting too crazy here. I have a commenter, a viewer, who is asking me about, how to start investing. And, I thought about all the channels that I listen to and watch, and they're always geared towards people in the West, and they kind of always assume that you've got a bank account full of cash ready to go, and it's just a matter of you getting on some platforms and buying and selling and all that stuff. But I had a fan ask me to do a video series, and maybe we will do a video series on how to get into investing. But the first question I asked him was, hey, do you have a bank account? And his response was that he does, but that it's with his parents. They have control over it. And that's common where he is. I believe he's in India. In India, you're pretty much under your parents' wing the entire time throughout college until you get a job, which is how it is here too. Don't get me wrong. We're in the United States, but he said that the difference is, in the U.S., it's very common for high school-age kids or college-age kids to start employment. And in India, it's much more common to not ever have started any kind of job until you're out of university, even a part-time job. So this video is in response to those emails that we were exchanging. And basically, you're going to have to, my man, for you who wants to learn how to invest, I definitely don't want you getting in any trouble with your parents. They control a bank account for you. And I certainly don't want you to one day take control of it and then listen to my video, transfer all the money out of it into some kind of investment vehicle and then lose it all and then blame me for it. Investing is risky. So I almost would suggest this. Whether or not you get control of that bank account, let's forget about that other bank account for a second. Your parents are investing in it. It's probably slow growth, low risk, but decent yield that has increased over time. What I want you to do, and I don't know how it is in India. In America, I think you only need to be like 12 or 13, and you can walk right into a bank and open up a checking account. And they'll give you a Visa debit card that you can use to buy stuff online, and there you go. You're basically swiping and charging away like any good old American consumer. I don't know what the laws are in India, but I would walk into a bank if you can, or contact a bank and open up a new account that is completely yours and under your control. And then you're going to have to figure out ways to fund that account. And I don't want you doing anything illegal, but probably the best thing you can do is, I don't necessarily think you want to pick up a part-time job. I don't even know what jobs are. I don't even know what the Indian economy looks like. If it's as easy as you going and working a few hours in a cafe, which I did, or as a stock boy, which I did, or working at a dry cleaner, taking people's clothes, throwing it in a bag, I did that too, or delivering pizzas, did that too. Those are all kind of examples of part-time jobs that I held that other Americans might have held when they were younger. I'm wondering if that's even feasible, because what I don't want you to do is, harm your grades. You're doing good in your engineering program, and that's where your money's going to come from eventually. So I definitely don't want you to take time out and basically put your education on hold or hurt it in any way to make a few bucks here and there. But at the same time, if you want to start getting into investing, you do need money and access to a bank account because you need a bank account to connect to an exchange, whether that's a stock exchange where you can, like Robinhood or TD Ameritrade or God, what are some of the other platforms like Charles Schwab? These are the Western platforms. I don't know if those are even available in India or if you guys have an Indian version of that. But you need a bank account to connect to that. You also need a bank account to connect to a crypto exchange or a number of other investment platforms. You can't do anything without a bank account because that's how they're going to get your money. With the exception of certain assets like gold, silver, platinum, like precious metals. These can be so I don't know if you guys have these in India, but in the States, we have stores that sell these. You walk in and you basically can buy gold or silver from someone who sells it and has a certification for selling it, and you can sell it to them too. Like they're like in-person exchanges, if you will, and I'm sure they take cash. So if you can't do this bank account thing, but maybe you have access to cash, like maybe your parents are giving you money, can you withdraw any of that money and take it into buy gold physically? That would be a way you could get into investing. I don't necessarily want you to dump all your money into investing. You just basically want to start maybe investing 5 to 10% of your money into things. We even have something here. Like, I don't suppose you have these in India, but you might. We have Bitcoin vending machines in a lot of locations in America. Like, I have them here where I live, and they're in grocery stores. Like, you take the money you have. I think you can even put cash in the machine, and it will spit out a receipt that has a Bitcoin address and the amount of Bitcoin you bought. So you can do that. There's a few ways to maybe start investing without a bank account, but you don't have a ton of options. And Bitcoin is super high risk, right? High risk. Precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, definitely not as high risk, but those, you might want to look into those. Those are definitely good in inflationary times. I'm not sure how strong they are in deflationary times. But it's actually a little bit of a surprise that the price of gold isn't skyrocketing right now, given the fact that the U.S. is pumping so much money. And, anything the U.S. does, guys, at least for now, has a ripple effect across the entire world. So, like, even when you hear that 40 million Americans are out of work and are trying to collect benefits for unemployment, you think, well, that doesn't mean anything to me here in India. It actually does. So, yeah, those are like a few ways you could start investing without a bank account, but you really need a bank account to get into a stock trading platform and start investing in stocks. And I don't know what it looks like. Like, if you're in India, do you have the ability to invest in the New York Stock Exchange or the S&P 500 and the American and Western stocks that the Western half of the globe is all obsessed about? Like, do you even have access to that? I imagine you do, but I'm not even sure. But yeah, I think the big thing for you, man, is getting a bank account, and then how are you gonna fund it? I don't want to recommend that you start going and working in stores. If anything, because I know you're online. What about online businesses? What can you do now that will eventually get you money? I mean, I've been doing a YouTube channel for about a month, and it's not paying me anything because I haven't hit a certain metric of subscribers or hours watched, but maybe one day it will. And I have a job, and I'm not necessarily looking to get rich from YouTube, but I'm not going to say no if YouTube wants to start paying me, right? So, like, technically every day a little bit, I'm working on a YouTube business. I'm also writing books now, so I'm in the middle of writing a book, and I'm going to sell that on Amazon and hopefully make money that way. But as an engineer, you might have some really good skills, even things that are not engineering, and you can actually sell your skills for, dollars on the hour, at like Fiverr.com, Fiverr, or Upwork. There are tons of people who will contract you and let you do some freelance work from your computer for a number of things, whether it's like, a coding related thing if you're like a software engineer type, or even like a Photoshop thing if you've got that, or a ghostwriting thing, just writing books for people who don't actually want to write books. Like there's tons of things you can do online, um, where you might not need to leave and you can still make good money. And then you would basically, that is how you could fund your own bank account, which is completely separate from your parents' account, which you hopefully don't need to touch. I'm sure your parents' account, I wouldn't be surprised if your parents have been investing in mutual funds or bonds or something your whole life, and that account has grown. And I certainly don't want to see you spend that money. That they did that to me, just so you know. That's how I kind of have an idea. My parents grew like a small account for me into like $2,100, and of course I spent it on drugs and did stupid things with it because I'm an idiot. Wasn't a whole lot of money, even back when I used it. I think I got it when I was 21 years old, but I drained it and disappeared that cash real fast because I'm a jerk. But I'm changing, right? And that is likely what your parents have done for you, and you don't want to mess with that money necessarily. I would just suggest opening some kind of online business and trying to fund a new bank account with that, and then taking the money you get from that and putting it into something. And you can go back to previous videos, but I'd be happy to do another one if you think it will help. I am certainly not the king of financial advice, and there are people on YouTube who are way more popular and have way better advice than me. So don't think that you need to only listen to me about this kind of stuff, but for your particular situation, that's what I would do. How can you fund a new bank account? That is the question you got to ask yourself. And once you have a bank account that's got some money in it, I would be glad to help you figure out ways to put that into some kind of investment. That'll be it for this one. This is just another example of folks getting in touch with me and me responding, which I love to do. So get an email out to me or drop a comment below, and that's how we do it. All right, guys, take care.
Hey, thank you so much for listening or watching the video today. I want to ask you, what kind of things do you want to hear about? You know what we really focus on in this channel? It's about men's education, right? The manly arts, finance, religion, and health and fitness. So if you got any questions around these topics or things that you think might be relatable or that I could bring any fact or opinion on, by all means, drop a comment below and feel free to email me at rightofpassage85@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Take care.